Welcome to the execution part of this video. So I'm using like the Postico IDE, which connects to my local Postgres server in my system. Basically, the specifics of this tool or like installing it is not significant, but understanding how to execute it is important. Okay, so let's get started. To get started first, as we stated earlier, we have to create a database. So let's try to create a database. So create database Amazon e-commerce. Generally, SQL is case insensitive. That means if you write in small words or capital words, it doesn't matter. But to have like a better readability, generally recommended that keywords are written in like caps, so we can easily identify which ones are keywords versus which ones are like regular text. Okay, so I'm going to run this or execute the statement. All right, now seems like the database has been created. So if we see here, like in this Postico environment, if you click here, this is the Postgres server. So if you click here, you can see what all databases are available. So the Amazon e-commerce database has been created. So I'm selecting that. So any queries that we write further will be, this particular Amazon e-commerce database will be used. Okay. Now in this database, let's start by creating a schema, right? So let's say create schema products, right? So we can execute the statement and then it will create the product schema. Right. Okay, seems like the create schema command has been executed successfully. Let me refresh here. As you can see, the product schema has been created. Let's now create the product info table inside the product schema with 4 columns: ID, name, price, and created it. The syntax for this is as shown earlier: create table product info. The reason that we are doing product info is like the product info table should be created inside the product schema, right? And then the first column is ID, and then it should be an int field, and the next column is name. It should be a text field. The next column is price. It should be a float field, and the next column is created at, which is a timestamp field. Again, iterating here that, like the SQL is case insensitive. You can use small words, you can small letters, you can use cap letters or anything like that. But just to see like which ones are keywords versus which ones are like regular text, it's better to like write it like this and identify. You can just like, put it there and then have the bracket and the semicolon in a separate line. Okay, this is the syntax. Let me execute it. All right, seems like there is one small issue. Yes, the issue is the schema name is products and not product. Good catch by the system. So let me update this and run the statement again. All right, the table has been created. So let me refresh this and then let me go to the product schema. Right now we have the product info table that has been created with 4 columns: ID, name, price, and created it. All right, let's now insert a row into the product info table that we just created. So the syntax for that is, as we saw earlier, insert into product info. And then you would say the keyword values, and then you would put what values you want to insert. For the ID, I'm putting 1. For the name, I'm putting laptop. And then for the price, I'm putting 999.99. And then for the date, I'm putting 2026, January 15th. Right? So let me execute the statement. All right, again, same mistake. So product info, executing it. Okay, the particular row has been inserted into the table. Let's now go into the table and check it. Let me refresh it. There you go. We have successfully inserted a row into the product info table. Now, let's say we want to insert a particular row, but we don't know the order of the columns. For example, if you see here, we have the order of the columns, that is ID, name, price, and created it. Whenever we are writing an insert statement, it's always not necessary that we understand or remember the order of the columns that's there in the product info table. So if you don't remember the order, it is suggested that you would do it in a slightly different way. So the insert into product info remains same. What you can do is like you can open brackets and specify the order. For example, if I want to insert another row in this order, in this column order, let's say I want to put the name first, right? Then price, then create it, and then the ID. Let's say if I want to insert in this order, I would just put the column order in the brackets right after inserting the product info, and then in values I will update the value subsequently. For example, the name is going to be laptop again, let's say, and the price is going to be $4.99, let's say, and then the date is going to be the same, but ID is going to be 2, right? So let me put it like this and then try to run it. All right, again, the row has been inserted. Remember, we have inserted in a different order, but we expect the values going to like the exact same columns in this order that we specify. Now let's go into the table and check it. So yep, even if we have inserted the data in different order, we have specified the correct order while we are inserting the table. That will lead to like the correct insertion, right? Lastly, in the insert statement, let's say we want to insert more rows. Then what we could do is like semicolon and then put a comma and then insert more rows. Let's say we insert another row with laptop with like maybe higher price, 1999, and then same date, and then maybe ID is different. And then let me again insert a different row here. So probably copy this very quickly, paste it, and then say telephone or mobile phone, and then put the price probably like $5.99, and then like maybe January 16th, and then the key or ID equals 4. And then now let me remove this comma and put a semicolon. You can pretty much put any number of rows here. Just to show you, I'm just putting 2 rows, and then let's try to execute. All right, if you see here, the insertion has been successful. Now let's go to the product info table, refresh it. Yep, in the same query, we are able to insert 2 more rows. All right. Since we inserted 4 rows into this table, let's say I want to make a change. Let's say I want to update the row with like ID equals 3, and then I want to update the date to 2026-1/16. Let's see how we can do that with the SQL query. So what we say is, as we suggested earlier in the video, we would use the update command, update products dot product info, and then we would say set price, no, the created at equals to 2026-01/16, where ID equals to 3. All right, let me run this. Okay, so there's a syntax error. As you can see, the string opening hasn't been closed, so we need to close that. Run it again. Okay, 1 row has been updated. Let's go check it. Let's refresh. Previously the date has been 1/15. Now the date has been changed to 1/16. So that's how you use the update command to change any value that we would need. Now, let's say I want to do something. Let's say I have done like a refresh, and then let's say for some reason I want to update all of these dates to 2026-1/16. So when you want to update the whole table or like a whole column with a single value, what you can do is like you can just remove this where clause here, and then you can just run it. All right, now all the 4 rows are updated. If we go check here, all the 4 rows have been updated to 2026-1/16. While this is very convenient and powerful, it's also very destructive. If you don't give a where clause in the update set command and then just run it, it will simply change the whole column. So please make sure to like run this accurately. Now, let's say I have forgotten to create one more essential column, that is a description column, by creating this table. So how can I add that column? So now we would use the alter command. So what we would say is alter table products dot product info, and then we would say add column description, probably the data type text. Okay, let's run this. All right, the alter table command has been executed successfully. We can go here and refresh, and then we can see a new description column has been created. Now let's say for any reason, let's say I want to have the price column as integer and not float. I want to change this column's data type. So how we can do it with alter? So we would use the same command, almost alter table product info, product info, but we would change this line to say alter column price, and the new type for saying the type is going to change, we'll say put type, and the new type is going to be integer or int. So let's say we are going to change the price column into the integer. Okay, I run this, and then it has been successful. Now if we go into this table, see the decimal values that are there. When I refresh this, yep, it has been rounded out into like the integer value. Remember, the decimal part will be vanished right after you convert this into an integer, and then you round it up. So make sure when you alter the column data types, these kind of conversions will happen. Do it carefully. All right, since we rounded up the price column into the nearest integer, let's say I want to change the column name to price underscore rounded. How we can do that is go to the SQL query, and then say, instead of alter column, just say rename column price to, and the new column name, which is price rounded, let's say. All right, let me execute it. Okay, now after the execution, it has been done. Now let's go into this table and check it. All right, if you can see here, the column name has been changed from price to price rounded. Now let's say I want to change the table name itself from product info to product details. To do this, I would just say the query change that needs to happen is instead of putting rename column, all of this, remove this, and then rename to product details. And then let me just run it. All right, now I think this should be refreshed. So let me refresh this. All right, you can see the product info has now been changed to product details. That's it for the execution part of this video. Thank you.
Preparing for data interviews isn't easy. LeetCode has SQL and Python problems, but they're not really built for data professionals. You juggle SQL here, Python there, and data modeling somewhere else, and still don't feel ready. That's why we're building PyteCode, a platform designed just for data professionals. Data modeling you can finally practice, SQL and Python questions from big tech data interviews, AI-powered mock interviews that feel like the real deal. PyteCode, launching Q1 2026. Learn, practice, succeed.